This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You horn tootin' is all I got to say. God, I'm in a great mood today. And there's a reason I'm in a great mood today. Because I was thinking about all this stuff that we've been talking about lately and, this and that and the other thing. And, this guy said this and this guy said that. I've decided my last political thing I'm ever going to say, because I don't like either side anymore. I just don't. You got the two guys, or that's not guys anymore. There's a woman and a man, probably. It looks like, anyway, going to run for president. And all they have to do is say bad things about one another. Have you ever heard me say a bad thing about a morning show competitor?
I guess it depends on which ones. Because technically, I think yes, but overall,
not on the air.
No, but
never
Howard
on the
Stern.
air.
I
never said a word about Howard Stern on the air.
Suppose.
Not one.
Oh no,
I never talked about him at all on the air.
Okay.
And we kicked his ass because of that. Everybody else tried to take him on. He's in New York. You can't take him on. Just let him yap up a storm. Well, okay. What's your
I was
point?
gonna say, I guess in the direct form, no, where you're get on the air and go on some rant about this guy's an a-hole. But when you're disdain for Howard Stern as far as what he did to you, that would be a different.
He didn't do anything to me. I kicked the shit out of him.
Well, yeah. But he said some not nice things.
Oh, yeah, he said some horrible things. And he tried to go after my wife. I said, my wife would kick your ass, you little punk. Catherine would whip his ass. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, he's 150 pounds sopping wet.
That's about it. So, yeah, but it's never been. There's still a morning guy in this town that I can't stand, but you wouldn't even know who that is because I've never brought it up to you guys.
No.
Well, you might know who it is just by what a prick the guy is.
Is he in the room with us right now?
Well, he's behind the glass.
Okay, well, depending on your perspective.
That is true.
Depends on whose glass he's behind. No, I made a decision. First of all, I went on a walk this morning, and I ran to meet Sauce's uncle and Coach Mason, the former mayor of Wayzata. Ran into all these guys on my walk. Alan Miller, an old friend of mine. The great thing about Alan and I if I'm on one side of the road and he's on the other side of the road walking, because we both walk at the same time, it'll be wave.
There you go.
That's enough of that. But no, I kind of looked at after yesterday, because you guys were talking about, and I think the last political statement I'll ever make, because I've had enough of this bullshit, is I think the reason I was upset yesterday is I just don't understand how a person can almost get shot to death and you start calling him weird. But you know what? Pick your players. I don't give a rat's ass who the president is. I don't like either one of these people. I talked to Donald Trump. I've known Donald Trump for a long time. Every time his people reach out to me, it's for money. Every time now. So I've had enough of that too.
Yeah.
I don't like the far left. I don't like the far right. I'm going to stay right in the middle. I have nothing bad to say about any of them, but this is really the people. But I just don't like the fact the guy, and some people say it never happened, that it was that Chris, what's his name? Christopher Ray. Is that his name? Or
I believe so. Yeah.
Christopher Ray. Oh, I think it was just a piece of plastic. Oh, really? Are you a doctor now? Are you? The doctors say it was a bullet, but you say it's and I'm not trying to defend Trump here. I am in that case because he's a human being and somebody tried to kill him. I just have had enough of this. Every time I talk to a politician, it's about money now. Every time. And all the politicians I've helped in the past, which I did many, many times, don't hear from any of them anymore because they don't need me anymore, right? They've moved on. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about a lot of Minnesota politicians. I don't talk to any of them anymore. I just have. So I said, why am I defending anyone on the air? Because if Trump wins, whatever. If Kamala Harris wins, and by the way, you notice how I said her name properly? Mm-hmm. I hate that. This Kamala, you're doing that on purpose.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing as when all the kids stay on their face chat and the snap and the snap book. You know what it's called? It's a massive thing.
Know.
This is the vice president, and she has been for the past nearly 4 years. You know how to say her name.
No, I don't know if they do know how to say her name because they're not paying attention. You think that might be it?
I mean, at a certain point, they've heard it and I feel have been corrected, but it's just that mindset of, well, no, I don't want to call her that. That'd be you. I say, that that's me calling you Toom, and then you're like, actually, it's Tom, and I'm like, okay.
I get Tom Brainerd. I do get that. Aren't you Tom Brainerd? Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. But no, I was up my walk this morning. It's an absolutely beautiful morning.
Oh, it's great outside today. And
I just thought to myself, I don't want to be in a horseshit mood over politics because I don't really give a rat's ass who gets elected president because they're in it for the money anyway. It doesn't, the party doesn't matter at all. They're all in it for the money and the fame. That's why they're there, blah, blah, blah. Right? Mm-hmm. So I just decided basically, after that thing yesterday, and it wasn't a big thing, but I was kind of insincere on my part because I was trying to defend somebody I don't even like. So I don't want to be involved in it anymore. I think these people are terrible people. They're all in it for the money. Doesn't matter which party you're talking about. They're in it for the fame and for the money. That's why. So I got no time for it anymore. Doesn't mean, stuff won't come up on the show, but I'm not going to take a side in it because I really do not care. I just don't, because there's going to be no benefit. First of all, we're $35 trillion in debt. I'd like to see some. I'm going to start, maybe paying that off, or just, what we're going to end up doing is walking away from it. I think we talked about that yesterday. We're probably just going to walk away from that debt. We're never going to pay that back. It's just not going to happen.
My favorite argument is why can't we just print more money?
Well, that's what they are doing that actually.
Yeah, they do, but then it devalues everything else, and it's a it's a fun argument to hear people talk about.
Well, it is, but I just I for a while there. Well, like I said, I grew up a Democrat because my mother's a big time Democrat, but again, her cousin and my good friend Lamont Dean, he was a Republican, so I saw both sides of the issue. Mm-hmm. I was a Democrat till I was probably about, I don't know, maybe 25, 27, something like that. Then I tried the other side, and that was okay for a while. Then I didn't like that either. So getting involved in political arguments, first of all, they want us to argue. They literally say those kinds of things like, oh, he's weird, to piss people off. So you'll send them more money, or he's going to want more money, or she's going to want more money. I've had enough of it. I don't want anything to do with these people at all. It's one of those situations. Well, I'll give you an example of why, the Democrats went after me, called me a bunch of names and destroyed my voiceover career and blah, blah, blah. What did the Republicans do? Nothing. Not one of my so-called friends said that's not true. He is not this or that. That's a lie. Not one of them did that. And that's when I did realize I don't like any of these people. So I'm not going to argue with anybody about politics. You vote for whomever you want to vote for. They're going to destroy the country one way or the other. We're about 95% of the way to commie bullshit anyway. So, right?
Yeah, I think so. This is
get the sickles out.
This is what happens.
Get the sickles out, baby. The hammer and the sickle. Honest to God. So yeah, but I just am in a very good mood I feel really good about the fact I don't care who gets elected president because I don't like either one of them.
Still should get out and vote though, even if you hate both people.
Who else is there to vote for? Because I don't want to vote for Kennedy either because his family's in the mafia.
Write Judd in.
Judy.
Yeah. I mean, honestly.
These days I should write the word Jude on a piece of paper. They'd be coming after me. Oh, he's a Jew. Let's get him.
Better be a mail-in ballot.
Yeah, exactly.
In parentheses, my dog.
My Jude, my dog. He was named after Hey Jude, the song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, let's move forward with life. I just want to have fun. Doesn't mean I don't still have some opinions about this, that, or the other thing, but they don't favor one political party over another. If some political people want to come on this show, I got no problem with that. But honest to God, his people reached out to me. He reached out to me. Hey, Tom, I'm talking about Trump. I want to come on the show and blah, blah, blah. The only reason I want to come on the show is to raise money. It's like, no, we're not doing that. It's not going to be about money. So I just don't want anything to do with any of these people anymore. That's fair, isn't it?
I think so.
So piss on it. Let everybody else argue about all the rest of it. And let me close with this. I adore my wife more every day. I love that woman. My son, my daughter, their families, the grandchildren, their spouses, all the rest of it. I live a very happy life, except when I'm involved in politics. So we're just going to get rid of that bullshit, get it out of my life. You have your opinions. There's a reason you have your opinions. Good for you. But I just don't want anything to do with any of these people. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good mindset to have.
It is for me. I will tell you that. Now I got to put up with, Judd Zulgad. My day is ruined.
There's nobody more engulfed in the world of politics that I know than Judd Zulgad.
Political insider, Judd Zulgad.
We'll take a break. Judd will join us right after this. Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now. The best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. Get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets, only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb, dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 to use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 or go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize, let's say on an opportunity, or maybe you want to solve a problem, turn to their experts because they are locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. This helps business owners expand with confidence. This is going to be tough for me to do because I love picking on Bilski. I just love it because he's one of my best friends and all the rest of it. But he's one of the most honest human beings I have ever met. That's a big part of why I do my banking at North American Banking Company. They're very honest people led by Bilski. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Judd.
How's the microphone today? I think I got it right this time. Oh, good.
Sounds terrific. I checked in last night. The Twins were down 2-0. When the Mets, by the way, suck. That team is terrible. What is the problem here?
Actually, the Mets have been. They did suck. They've been great since like June. But the Twins' the Twins' problem is that they gave up 15 runs 2 nights ago, and they gave up 2 last night. And the only common thread between the 2 games is they lost both of them, and they can't win in New York.
No, it's unbelievable. They can't beat the Yankees, and they can't beat the Mets. You're absolutely right.
It's absolutely maddening. And then of course, so now they are. Let's see here in the standings. They're now 6.5 games behind Cleveland.
God.
In a virtual tie for second place with Kansas City, and they are still in the second wild card spot, but Boston is 2 games back of both the Twins and Kansas City. So, and then they essentially did nothing at the deadline yesterday, which I'm sure the fans will appreciate that. So, but beyond that, it's been a great week for the Twins.
Is this third generation? Do they even know what the hell they're doing, or do they just want the money? Are they the Donald Trump, Kamala Harris's of the baseball world? They just want the money. They don't care about how good they are.
Well, they're president of baseball operations, of course, Derek Falvey, came out last night and said, this has nothing to do with the poll ads. I could make any trade I want, but they don't want to. But, I didn't, the prices were too high, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, from everything that's been reported, it sounds like it had everything to do with their financial, I guess you could call them straits if you were to try and twist the truth a little bit.
You know what I would love to have done? I would have loved to have made $1 billion in my life, because I would have been the very first person to ever piss away an entire $1 billion. I'd go spending money like a madman.
You know how impressive that would be?
Oh my God.
If you could piss away $1 billion, I mean, athletes piss away millions every day. So that's not really that notable, but $1 billion.
You know what I'd do first? I'd get a place with a huge lawn.
Yep.
Then I would attach a lawnmower under a Rolls Royce and drive the Rolls Royce around to cut the lawn. What do you think?
One of those old school manual rollers.
Exactly.
That's a good start. I mean, you have to do a lot more than that, but that's a good start.
You have to do a lot more than to piss away a $500,000 car as a lawnmower. You're right. I'd have to do a lot more than that.
I mean, you have to buy 4 of them and convert them all into lawnmowers, and then buy a baseball team and just pay everybody.
I just don't understand. You're multi-billionaires and you don't want to spend money on your baseball team. It makes no sense to me.
Especially because you'd only have to do it for, let's say, 5 years as you're building the team and you really make one big push to win a championship. And then you can go back to being, we're not paying anybody because the city's going to forgive you because, hey, you just brought us another World Series. So that's going to buy you 20 years of being cheap.
True.
Yeah, that's the weird thing too, is I understand that their revenue coming in because the TV thing is down. But as Tevin just said, you got to think about too, it's not just are you popular? Also, you're not going to get people in the seats. Their attendance is down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And so you're not going to put people in the seats if you either A, piss them off, or B, they just sort of dismiss and forget about you. So that's the thing, is from a business standpoint, I'm not sure I get this one. If they were bad, if they just weren't that good, I'd probably be okay, yeah. But this team is good. Could have really used a starter, could have really used a left-handed reliever, and they didn't do a thing. So, yeah, it is I don't necessarily understand the dance they're trying to do here.
Well, it's brought up to me, and I think it's very, very accurate. In all businesses, once you get to that third generation, they do a great job of effing up everything they touch. The third generation is never good. Why is that?
I would assume it's the passion that maybe the original poll ads had for we want to win a championship, we're going to have the sports team, and then the kids are this is a cool thing, but then maybe they're not as passionate about it, and then the grandkids are this is just something my family does that now I have to do.
But Carl could
it's the same time, third time through the order for a pitcher. It's just that's what that is.
See?
I love it. But Carl could be cheap too. It's not like Carl. I mean, Carl fortunately got some good fortune, right? McPhail was young. He became GM, blew out Ray Miller in 85, I believe it was. TK, who was at the time 36 or something. He was young too.
All right.
He got the job. And they certainly hit on some good players, and ultimately did pay guys like Puckett and Herbeck. But it's not like Carl was out there, big spender, and now they've all cut back. But the thing too, I think that's disappointing is there really was an expectation that in situations like this with the ballpark, opening in 2010, that they were out of the Metrodome days, and this feels very much like a Metrodome type of season now. The Correa thing was great, but that's but as far as you could have taken a short-term hit to add, and you still didn't do that.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, we're coming up on August tomorrow, so you got August, September, and part of October. There's only about 9-10 weeks left in the season. That's about it, right?
Yeah.
So can they hang in there, spend a little money for 9 or 10 weeks, and maybe try to make the playoffs?
There's nothing left to spend though, because you can't make trades now. So your club is your club, and they've got some talent, but the issue is, again, I'll go back to it. It would have been really nice to add a starting pitcher, and they probably can get by, and they probably can make the playoffs. But this shows zero commitment to being invested when you go get a reliever from Toronto who nobody knows, who's probably your fourth or fifth bullpen arm now. It's not like he shoots near the top. So just a very disappointing, and Twins fans who have long called the poll ads cheap, sometimes unfairly, are not being unfair if they are pissed off today.
Remember, Carl got very mad at me because when he took some time to sign Kirby Puckett.
Yeah.
We did a personal appearance on Washington Avenue, and there was a huge picture of Carl's head, and he's puking up dollar bills. And the slogan of the show that day was, "Carl, cough up the cash."
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. And I can't imagine why Carl got mad.
Oh, no, not
I
Carl.
can't
He was
imagine.
even keel.
I remember your great bit in, was it 89 with Frankie V? Pennies for pitchers, and people were stopping by like it was the Jerry Lewis telethon and throwing in money into a big, huge fishbowl, right?
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
Great gimmick.
I still have people come up to me this day going, "I came by and threw some cash into the bin. I want you to know." It's like, those were such fun days because nobody had ever, to that point, nobody had ever taken on teams or this or that, whatever. I just love to take stuff on and piss people off. You know that.
Well, yeah, but it was great too because you're a genuine Twins fan.
Well, I love
So it wasn't BS like you were, but that goes back to, it's not like Carl spent big. The funny thing is, the Viola trade with the Mets got him a bunch of players, including Kevin Tapani and Aguilera, who of course were primary pieces of the 91 World Series team.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it worked out. But yeah, the pennies for pitchers was awesome because people were coming by your studios and dropping off money into the fishbowl.
I went to a funeral about 2 years ago for a good friend of mine. He died. And at the funeral, 3 or 4 of his cousins came up. "I came by and put cash in the barrel." We're talking about pennies for pitchers at a funeral. It's like, oh, okay.
They're like, we supported it.
It was wonderful. That's how, God, that was so much fun back in the day. That's when, had a lot of fun, like teasing. We never really went, I suppose I did go after some people, but, teasing was more teasing than anything.
But it's fine. It's sports. That's what makes sports great. If you take it seriously, one, if people screw up, like they are in this platform, so they can certainly be ripped. But two, it's sports. So at the end of the day, it's mostly fun. It's not life or death.
No, you're absolutely right. Now I got to ask you something because Tevin was talking about it this morning before the show started. They sure are talking a lot about this. Was it JJ McCarthy? Is that his name?
It's actually pronounced Joe Montana. Correct.
Oh, is it Joe Montana? Now that's how you pronounce it? Okay.
I thought it was Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah,
I got bad information.
Yeah, Judd, how is he looking? You've been there in person. Does the ball seem to zing off his hand as they say it does?
He looks really good. Yeah, he part of the thing too is, so far from what I've seen, he's outplayed Sam Darnold, who I believe is still going to start because they basically don't want to subject McCarthy to the pressure until they feel that he's completely prepared. But he's got a good arm, man. He's got a really good arm. He zings that ball in. I didn't get to go to practice yesterday, but I actually saw somebody filmed, and this is a no, you're not supposed to, but I'm glad that they did. Somebody filmed McCarthy throwing a deep ball, and it was nice too. So, I've been impressed. I don't think he's going to start for sure on September 8th against the Giants. But it does look like he has the attributes to make it okay to be excited about his future.
Would that be a situation where maybe he steps up mid-season then, if things aren't going as well as they want?
Well, and if he is, I think the whole thing is Kevin O'Connell is going to play JJ McCarthy when O'Connell's convinced that he's prepared to play.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't actually know that it has a thing to do with, they're not playing well. Darnold stinks. And so they're going to make a quarterback change, which is the ordinary progression.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're going to be very careful not to do that. But I think if they feel that he's prepared, he will play. So
it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, it's been so long since we've had a young quarterback to talk about here, for 6 years it was Kirk. I mean, you have to go back to Bridgewater when he came here at, 2014? But the thing with him is he was the last pick of the first round. This is the first top 10 quarterback taken by the Vikings in their history, Tom.
Is that right?
They've never taken a quarterback in the top 10, ever. Tarkington was third round. Kramer Kramer, Culpepper, Bridgewater were all first-round picks. Ponder, unfortunately. But nobody's ever been a top 10 pick until this kid.
I'm glad you brought it. You know, I actually had dinner with Christian Ponder one night, and he could not have been a nicer guy.
He's a really nice guy.
Very nice guy.
Yeah,
Come on, Tevin. Come on, Tevin.
Yeah, I feel bad for him just because he is a very nice guy from everything you hear, but he was not great at football, and he was selected very high, and so he gets a lot of flack. And I'm one of those people that will dish it out to him. But yeah, very nice guy.
Maybe that's why he wasn't that great of a quarterback. Didn't have that kind of that a-hole edge to him.
Maybe.
He didn't. He was a super nice guy,
really?
But you're exactly right. He did not have an edge, and he did not have quarterbacks have to, in my opinion at least. And I don't know Darnold has this. They have to have a confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to have a swagger, and I don't mean an a-hole. I just mean a swagger of sorts where you are convinced that you are good.
Mm-hmm.
And like you watch McCarthy and he seems like a really nice kid. I don't know him at all, but I mean, he seems like a really, really nice kid, but he's got a swagger to him.
You mean kind of like the two guys I'm working with here? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no question. Especially Age. Age walks around like he's King Bleep. It just really drives me crazy.
Yeah, it really annoys Judd at the office.
No question about it. Okay, just one more question. I know you got to get going here, but I cannot watch the Olympics. It's gotten way too political for me. I can't. Today was the day. On the way to work, I was in a really great mood, and I went, you know what? I can't pay attention to politics anywhere anymore. You're driving me nuts with it. It's all a bunch of bullshit to make money anyway. Can't they leave the Olympics alone? Do they have to be political?
I got bad news for you, Tom.
Uh-oh.
You're talking to the wrong guy, and here's why. Excuse me. Outside of a curiosity about basketball, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the Olympics.
I don't either.
I don't watch a bunch of and you know what? My wife, who complains when I put a baseball game on, is like watching swimming, and I'm like, honey, when else do we care about swimming?
Yeah.
And that does not mean that you out there, if you love the Olympics, good for you. Bravo. I love sports.
Absolutely.
Perhaps you don't. But I watched a bit of the US basketball game on Sunday. But the opening ceremonies, which we've been all going crazy about, let me tell you something. I don't care about them, and I haven't cared about them. It's a person lighting a torch. It has nothing to do with games. Like, you could skip it. As far as I'm concerned, take a Bic, light the damn wick, and start the games. All this marching and stuff has nothing. I don't give a damn. I'd rather watch a baseball game. I would rather watch a preseason football game than a sport that I don't care about for 3+ years, and then every 4 years it comes along, and all of a sudden all I want to do is watch gymnastics. And by the way, you should look at yourself. If you are watching this now, then go find gymnastics. Go find them year round. Become a fan. Like, it's just like the pageantry. I want to watch it's all professional. These people are the most crooked, not the kids, not the athletes, but the IOC is the most crooked group of people in the world. It's the pageantry. It's the magic of it. No, it's not. It's a bunch of crooked people running an event every 4 years that is that basically features sports that the most of us don't give a damn about.
You think you'll ever get emotional about this?
I'm the Olympics drives me crazy, and now I have to hear about the opening ceremonies. Then if you might be offended by them, don't watch them. They have nothing to do with sports. It's this choreographed, and again, if you enjoy it, that's cool. But then don't come back and say it was choreographed. I thought it was offensive. Well, no, you watched it.
You know what we got to do? Honest to God, we have to do this tomorrow. The four of us will come on, but we got to change our voice. You got to talk like this or whatever. So during the show, live on the show tomorrow, we got to call Britt because she's on the afternoon show now over at My Talk.
Yep.
We got to call her in the morning and go, hey, we just called you to tell you Katie Ledecky sucks. Just to see what she says. What do you think?
I think it's brilliant.
Let's torture Brittany. Come on.
I think it's brilliant. Well, just you should change your voice and call her live as an Olympic survey person.
Oh, I like it.
And when she's like, I love the gymnastics and stuff, say, well, great, that's great. Can we count on you? Say you're from the Gymnastics Society of America. Can we count on you? We're going to launch a channel and we're going to show gymnastics every week. Can we count on you to subscribe?
You know what would be great about that? Say, yeah, I'm calling from the JSA. What's that? The Gymnastics Society. Gymnastics starts with a G. I don't know if you know that or not, sir. Completely misspell the word.
Oh, that's Chucker territory right there.
The Chucker. I still got to get Glassman on the show. Although he's on his own show during this show, so I can't.
That'd be great.
But Judd, this is why I love talking to you, because you have a lot of emotion tied into this. I love that.
Well, thank you. I've had a lot of emotion tied into this for a long time. They could do away with the Olympics tomorrow.
Yep.
And I would not bat an eye.
I agree.
And you know what? If we can't play nice, like Dad said, we'll turn this damn car around right now and go home.
Boy, whoever heard that?
If we can't play nice, then you know what? We're not going to play at all. The Olympics are done.
I like it. That's a great finish. We started, with a nice even keel, and we end with "I hate that."
Yeah, you hit a hot button spot for me, and I'm sure folks are like, "I love the Olympics." Well, that's great. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Then love baseball. You know what? Love baseball. That's my sport. Football, hockey, basketball, everything else out. All right.
Well, go play soccer.
Soccer's fine. The Europeans love it. It's great.
You're just making it up now.
It's fine. Soccer's fine. I'm just saying when the IOC's crooked as hell, and we're all like, "Oh, isn't it great? Isn't it fantastic? The bribes they're taking. It's so refreshing."
What do they think they are? Politicians taking bribes?
Oh, God, are you? Soccer and the Olympics are the most political entities and the dirtiest, corrupt out there. That's it. I'm done. I'll see you guys.
Goodbye.
Been fun.
What did he just say at the end?
Oh, I have no idea.
I thought he said laughing. Get effed. That's what it sounded like he said.
I think he said goodbye.
Oh, goodbye. I thought he said get effed. Oh. I love that so much. He gets so emotional.
I've seen him get worked up about the Olympics before.
Oh, have you?
Not that much. So this was a treat. I love a good Judd rant.
Oh, there's no question. Hey, look, I mean that was one of the great fortunes here. We got to get. When are we going to get Sush on the show? Because I told him when we started the show we're going to have him on. When are we going to get him on?
It's a good question.
Should I call him?
Yeah.
Call him next time.
I mean, he's got nothing to do until 1:00 this afternoon or some bullshit. He does his show 1:00 in the afternoon. Why don't you drive in during rush hour, Joe? You pill. What do you think?
He always denies my calls, so
he doesn't even answer. I love Sush. He's just a great guy. He went after me once on the air. It was just fantastic, but I deserved it. I will say that. Let me tell you something about this guy. I just loved it. But Joe and I have become very good friends, and we will take a break. Speaking of good friends, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Egert will join us next. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Mr. Egert.
Yes, sir.
I'm not complaining about you. I'm complaining to you.
I'm here. I'm listening.
I don't live anywhere near there, but they're going to shut down I-94 from St. Paul to Woodbury this weekend.
I know.
Oh my God. Jesus. What? There's not a street open in this entire state.
Well, the good news is 494 between the Eden Prairie and Egan was already effed too.
Yeah.
So really, I don't know. They do that every once in a while where they'll just shut down the entire road. I remember they did it on 94, right? Like between Minneapolis and St. Paul a couple years ago. They've done 35 before, like south of downtown, which is insane. Think how busy that is.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, remember that time a few years ago when they shut down 94 just because the bridge collapsed? I mean, really? Just kidding. Anyway, moving forward.
I think I was 35, just to clarify.
I was 35. You're right. It was not 94. It was 35.
But for accuracy's sake, yes.
My daughter, Alex, worked for Mike Bilski at the bank, North American Banking Company.
Yeah.
And she usually drove that home that way, but she did not that day. She probably would have been on that bridge that day had she gone that way.
Wow.
Boy, that was that close, man. Woo.
One of my best friends and neighbors was on it, and his car, he got off it somehow, and his car is like on the cover of every national magazine. And
really,
he's like, yeah, there's my, I think it was like a Pathfinder or something. He's like, yeah, there's my Pathfinder. He tells that story, and I still I just got goosebumps again, like the fact that to survive that. And it's a long story, his journey, but he ended up like at the end of the night when he had to get back into his car to get his like soccer bag or something.
I remember that. Yes.
So he like got back in there, got his stuff out, and like found a bar and like had a drink, and he was like,
why didn't they go with that slogan, Pathfinder? We find a path when there is no path.
Yeah, right.
That should have been their slogan.
And I don't know if it was a Pathfinder. I think
it was though.
Somehow that jumped out at me. But hey, in the news today, quick, we have a potential for severe weather tonight. So like late afternoon into the evening, our weather teams put out a forecast first alert. So they're worried about like really strong winds, hail, that kind of a deal. So.
Okay, so that might about what time you talking?
Probably after dinner, but sort of start thinking about it in that timeline. So
I shouldn't go to the drive-in tonight?
I mean, unless you're going to Twister.
Oh, see? Although finding a drive-in is not that easy.
No. There's only a couple of them around at this point, but
there's one.
Yeah, so it just a heads up about that. What was the other thing I wanted to tell you before I got to go? Judd took up all the time with his rant about the Olympics, which was hilarious, by the way.
I love Judd. He's great.
It was funny. Nikolai Mew, that guy who's accused of stabbing the teenagers on the Apple River a couple years ago, he's being sentenced today. I think that's happening as we speak right now, and it looks like he facing a possible life sentence, but we'll see what he ends up getting. So,
okay, you only have about 30 seconds left. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What do you think of the Olympics, Chris?
That's funny. My position has changed on that, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because beach volleyball, but
yeah, maybe. Oh, you like the naked women?
Interesting.
I'm just kidding. I used to kind of be with Judd, but I actually have found myself being a little more entertained by them this year. I don't know why. And I don't hate, and I definitely don't hate on people for getting into it. Like, no, that's fine. I get though where Judd gets annoyed by it because there are like such random sports, but then again, like, did you guys see the final of the women's rugby yesterday? That was really freaking cool.
Yeah, where she ran like 80 yards to the house. Yeah,
and the last second kick, and they got a medal, and I don't think they'd ever done that. And I don't know, did I ever give two craps about rugby prior to that? No, but now I guess I'm more aware of it. I don't know.
Yeah. And there are a lot of great stories, like the South Sudan basketball team, where they don't have any indoor basketball courts in their country, wins their first Olympic Games. There's cool stuff to pay attention to.
Give me like the situational stuff, right? Yeah. I don't want the 90% of the rugby game that happened up to that. I want to see the final play. Right. I don't want to see like the second point of the first set in the volleyball game. I want to see the last one where they spike it into somebody's face.
Mm-hmm. Right. Tommy, do you have an opinion?
I hate the Olympics. I always have. It's way too political for me.
Oh, that's fair.
It's way too political.
Yeah, that I didn't see the whole opening ceremony.
Oh,
I saw some of it.
Jesus. Seriously, I made the announcement this morning, Chris. I cannot support either the Democrats or the Republicans anymore. I hate them both. They're just money grubbing pieces of turd.
I want everybody to think about this to get serious too. So you got what's going on in Israel right now in the Middle East is like probably one of the scariest. If you think about where we're at on there, that Israel just basically assassinated two very high-ranking Hamas and Hezbollah people. It's hit them in Beirut and in Tehran. Like, that whole situation over there is, to me, holding on by a thin thread. And then I'm wondering who's the president of the United States right now. Yeah,
well, there you go.
Like, who's going to make the call? What happens if stuff goes south over there, which I pray to God it doesn't? Is Joe still handling things? Is Kamala involved in foreign affairs?
Yeah.
Is the presumptive Republican candidate Donald Trump, is he being briefed daily on what's going on internationally? I really would like to know, because it's pretty frightening.
All right, homie. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you guys.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. I just looked at the card here. We're supposed to have Patrick on now.
Yeah, we'll take a very quick break. And
so he's okay with that?
Yes.
Oh, thank you for taking care of that. We'll be right back. Patrick Warburton will join us right after this.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's someone joining us right now. I used to talk about him all the time on the old KQ morning show. We talked to him several times, but the last couple of years, doesn't call, doesn't write. Oh my goodness. He happens to be with us right now. Patrick Warburton, how are you, sir?
Tom, we've had our things, and we've butted heads on a few things, and I feel like, because of the love, we always work it out. But, sometimes you're MIA too. You're just MIA.
I know. It's my fault. What's really great about it, isn't it? It was brought up this morning when I saw you on the docket. They said you talking to Patrick Warburton is like the two voices of America. Well, Tom, what do you think? Oh, I don't know, Patrick. What do you? I like that.
Tom, I am honored to be included in your luscious baritone.
Luscious baritone.
What if they? Yes. Let's try that. Let's massage. We'll use each other's voice to massage each other's voice. I will massage.
I missed you, pal. I'm glad to have you back. The Duel will release as a one-night only theatrical event in partnership with Iconic Events. That is tonight, as a matter of fact. Upon discovering his best friend, Colin, has been having an affair with his girlfriend, Woody decides that no modern. Wait a minute. Are you the one intruding on this relationship, or are you the guy that's all upset about it?
No. I'm the old man. I'm not doing anything romantic these days. Nobody wants to see me with my shirt up. I am sort of the expert of the antiques who mentors the boys in their quest to duel. And it's a great film. It's one of those rare movies where, it's a low-budget film, but a big company like Lionsgate says, no, this is going out on theatrical screens. And we're going out on 500 screens on Wednesday, which does not happen for a film that was made under $1 million. And it's a tribute, though, to Justin Matthews and Luke Roberts, amazing filmmakers, and they have a huge future ahead of them. And a lot of Hollywood's weighing in on these guys. These guys are like the next thing. So it was great to get to work with them. It was really cool.
Oh, there's no question about that. You're one of those guys, to tell you the truth, that people interview me once in a while and they talk about who do you like to have on the show, and your name always comes up because you're always, you're very informative. You deliver the message, but it's fun to interview you. I just when I saw your name in the docket today, it made my day, Patrick.
Well, thank you, Tom. Gosh dang it! You make my morning, my coffee. You've helped improve it all. You're getting my brain working. That's no easy challenge. Although what I realized, Tom, I realized that I'm doing this. I got a couple hours this morning because that Lionsgate hooked me up to promote this thing. I was glad to see your name there. But, in the midst of our conversation, I'm looking, I got my coffee, but you know what I don't have? I don't have my Zyn. And, and usually I can lay off that nicotine addiction until later in the day, but it's like, that could help in the morning. And then what the hell's wrong with me that I need multiple stimulants in the morning? Multiple. And not just caffeine. I need my nicotine too. What is wrong? I've gone down an ugly, dark road.
Patrick?
I'm not smoking cigarettes. But,
no.
Yeah.
One other thing that you and I have in common, when I get up every morning, I get up quite early, and the first thing I do is down a 5-hour energy. So I'm shoulder to shoulder with you, pal.
Well, okay, all right. So you got a little bit of caffeine in there, but yeah,
not enough for you. It's got to be more.
It's got to be more. You know what, Tom? I used to get high to get high, and now I get high to get by. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
The nicotine, the caffeine. That's all about survival. It's not really like, ooh, this is amazing.
No.
It's about survival.
But, Patrick, you have to understand something. And I'm defending an old friend here, Patrick Warburton. I'm defending you because you carried the weight of the world on your shoulder for I don't know how many decades now. You had to step up and save so many shows and so many movies. I mean, you can't carry the weight of Hollywood on your shoulders forever, Patrick.
You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. But I did. I used to do a lot of guest spots, and then they'd have me want to come back and do the show again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was always a cool thing. But I did a couple episodes of Ellen DeGeneres' sitcom, and I just stopped doing guest spots. And they wanted me back on, and I said, I just had my agent say, I got a conflict or whatever. And then 2 weeks later at a restaurant, Ellen DeGeneres walks up to my table and she goes, too big to do my show now, huh? And I go, I know, Ellen, I had a conflict, but she just was kind of called bullshit on it and walked away. I knew this. I knew then that when she had her talk show, I would never be invited, and I was not.
Oh,
Yeah.
How do you not have Patrick Warburton on your talk show? That's ridiculous. That's really stupid.
She was angry that I didn't do her show again.
Oh, God, whatever.
Which I love. I would have done it again. I mean, it's like, make it a regular role like, Seinfeld did or a couple of the other shows I did. Because that's how I get my gigs. I hate auditioning. I hate it. But whenever I got on a show, they'd always look at the character and go, hey, we want to make this character a regular. That happened on Dave's World, which was the first job I ever. Because I had a family support and I did that, but it happened on Seinfeld. That was a oneer that turned into a regular role. And it just happened kind of down the line with a bunch of these shows.
Well, the reason for that was, though, Patrick, you have that magnificent voice, but I mean, you're stunningly handsome as well. So that might have something to do with it.
I love you, man. I love you. Yeah, I used to be just absolutely beautiful. So pretty to look at. It's not that way anymore.
Well, it's not.
I'm 59 years old. When I look in the mirror, Tom, I see a 59-year-old man. Doesn't it make you crazy when you see somebody and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, they're old. And then you find out that you're the same age. Like, wait a minute.
Patrick, is there any way you could come on the show every day, man? I love talking to you. I always have, and I always will. You're a good man, sir.
Well, listen, you're a good man, Tom, but it's a little early. How late do you go, huh?
Well, are you in Los Angeles?
I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Okay, so basically the show is over by about 7:30 in the morning for you. So it would be a little early, but
we have 4 crappy dogs that get us up at 6 o'clock every morning anyway.
So we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Just give them the number. Call in anytime you want, Patrick. I love talking to you. I really have missed you, pal. It's great to see your face again and talk to you.
I will. Well, I got the number right here. So you know what? When it makes sense on our West Coast time, I'm gonna call in just to bug you.
I love it.
All right.
I look forward.
I will. I'm going to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tom.
Patrick Warburton, The Duel. The Duel releases a one-night only theatrical event tonight. Do we have any idea where it is locally? What theater is that locally?
No, I'm trying to find some more details about it, but he's terrific, isn't
He
he?
is phenomenal. I've always loved that guy. I've been talking to him for about 20 years now, 25 years, maybe something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just always been this genuinely nice man who always plays kind of an arrogant prick in most of the stuff he does. That's not him at all. He's one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to know.
Yeah, and it looks like the Duel will be showing at Marcus Southbridge in Shakopee. It's at AMC in Roseville, Coon Rapids, Inver Grove Heights, Oakdale. And they're all at 7:30. So
that was that neighborhood I was talking about yesterday. Shakopee is right. You just keep going down. When you take a left at the light to go to that Marcus Theater, if you just go straight on that road, that's where that beautiful neighborhood is I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
It's right there. Yeah. No, it's a great theater anyway. I love that theater. Marvelous. But Patrick Warburton, at any time, I don't care if he calls in on the request line. You can just have him on. I love that
that's
guy.
going to be terrific. If he calls in, I mean, I'll know who it is. I don't need caller ID.
Yeah, that's true. But he's one of those guys that has tremendous success in movies, in television, in commercials, in plays. He's been tremendously successful, and he hasn't changed one bit.
No, and it bridges, I feel like, generations, because he's talking about like, oh, Seinfeld, and like, I didn't even know you were in Seinfeld. I know you from Emperor's New Groove. That's where I was introduced to Patrick Warburton.
Yeah,
isn't that wonderful?
He's got that range. He can do the kind of the sitcom, we're the devils. He can do that. He can do the kids voiceover for the animated movies. He can play like with his baritone a more serious role if he needs to. Is like he's saying with the Duel. He's kind of like that wise voice of wisdom and advice for the guys in the film and everything like that. Like he's got the range, and he's been doing it for so long now.
Oh, he's just like I said, just a wonderful. When I saw his name on the docket this morning, I was already in a great mood anyway, having decided I don't want anything to do with this bullshit politics anymore. I want nothing to do with it. I want to talk to Patrick Warburton and have fun and laugh and just have a great time. I mean, he's just a nice man. I've never met him in person. I've only talked to him on the telephone. I don't think has he ever been in the Twin Cities? I don't even know if he has.
I feel like he's had to have
been.
He
had to have been, I would think.
Yeah. But I don't know. I can't. We'll keep him on the radar. And if he's doing anything where like an appearance in town, we'll reach out to him and his people.
See, here's another example of what I'm talking about. I've been lucky enough to be, from 17, 18 years old to be on the radio or be on podcasting or doing commercials or doing whatever. I've met all these magnificent people. I should always be in a good mood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. This morning I ran into Coach Mason. I love Glenn Mason. Did you ever spend any time with him at all?
No, but anytime I can hear him talk about just his experience at the University of Minnesota, I always tune in because he's hilarious.
He's such a great guy. We took a picture this morning. Dougie!
I thought we locked the door.
I have a key. I'm going, Doug, you should have been here for Patrick Warburton. Oh my God, he's so
hysterical.
Wonderful. You need some headphones. Oh, you got some headphones. Look at you being all efficient. Patrick Warburton is one of my favorite people in the world.
Do you think he's like that?
Oh, he is like
all the time.
Tom, he would call me on the phone. Hello, Tom. Hey, Patrick. How'd you know it was me? The greatest of all time. I mean, just look at that face. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that face. He's got this look at his face like, don't talk to me. Leave me alone.
He looks just higher than Snoop, doesn't he?
Well, he claims he is always. So what are you just claiming?
It's his acting style.
Oh, God. Did you, by any chance, get to hear Judd go off on the Olympics?
I did. And actually, there's part of me that really agrees with him, but I have to admit, the Winter Olympics, I love to watch the downhill skiing.
Oh yeah,
because the television is so good. I mean, it's just high res, and these guys are going and gals are going 90 miles an hour doing crazy stuff, and that's pretty cool. But bad international badminton. I don't need to watch that. Fortunately, it's on at 2 a.m. So,
like I had when it was yesterday or 2 days ago, somebody was like, "Did you see the pommel horse specialist for Team USA?" I'm like, that sentence means nothing to me. What are the words that are coming out of your mouth? And then I found out it's gymnastics. I thought it was a horse was involved. No. Like they were like riding a horse. I think it's the thing, isn't it? The thing with the 2 bars.
And the story is, and I didn't watch it, but the guy that won, the U.S. guy, is like a total geek burger, and he's just kicking ass, and he's gone viral. That's what that's about.
Yeah. Well, so that's good. Yeah. That part is good. Just watching the whole thing. And it got way too political for me. I want nothing to do with politics anymore. Leave me alone.
I got a little secret for you. It's always been political.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't watched it.
They're saying this was the worst opening ever. Yeah. How about 1936? Sig Heil and all that shit. That might have been a little worse.
You think it might have been a little worse?
And maybe. Probably a little more political.
Probably. No, I'm just talking about the fact that the Suni Lees of the world and, Katie Ledecky and all of it, I think it's magnificent.
Yeah.
Look, if I'm going to watch basketball, I'm going to watch the NBA or college basketball, high school basketball, whatever. I don't give a rat's ass about the Olympic basketball.
Stupid foreigners.
Stupid foreigners.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
exactly a
with
good
you.
way to put stupid foreigners.
Rudy Gobert, just stay in France. Man.
Rudy Gobert. All right, we do have to take. Are we going to take a break here? Right.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back on schedule here.
Magnificent. We'll be right back right after this. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just had the trifecta that worked out. We start with Patrick Warburton, then Dougie comes in, and then Jim Paul does a commercial. I mean, that's the trifecta.
That's radio gold right there.
It's radio gold, baby. It's
Edwin R. Murrow has nothing on you. Edward. Did I call him Edwin?
Edward. What's the difference?
Eddie's dead. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he's been dead for a long time. No question about it. But see, that I've decided. I opened the show this morning talking about the fact I don't want to talk about politics ever again as long as I live, because I really woke up in the middle of the night and went, why am I supporting anyone? I don't like any of these people. That's fair, isn't it?
Well, I used to get that way about it, especially the presidential thing. And then a friend of mine said something really I thought was pretty wise. He goes, voting for the president is like taking public transportation. You just take the bus that gets you as close as where you want to go. It's never going to drop you off at your house, right?
That's true.
So if one bus is going that way, but you want to go north, get on the one that's going northeast. And I think that's the best you can do.
Yeah, it's the best you can do. But I mean, to talk about it on a show is just not something I'm interested in doing at all. Look, I don't hate these people. They're just not my kind of people.
Well, I don't want to get into it either, but the one thing that I'm glad about is that Biden is stepping down. I mean, I don't know. He went.
Well, you're a
he
Democrat.
seemed to go
too,
down. Yeah, generally. I voted for Republicans before.
Yeah, but you're generally a Democrat. It's true.
I was a big Norm Coleman fan. I voted for him over Skip Humphrey and that idiot that you put into office.
Which idiot?
Jesse.
That I put into office.
You started all this shit.
Which idiot? You have to be more
specific. Which idiot are you talking about? That was a good point.
So let's talk about
which idiot are you talking about?
Politics for a minute. So the KQ Morning Show gets a former pro wrestler as the governor of Minnesota. And we're like, okay, well, this is a one-off. This won't happen. California says, hold my beer, and they get an Austrian bodybuilder. And then we wind up with Michelle Bachmann and Sarah Palin, and it just goes right one after another. But it's so you and Passolt are really responsible.
It's my
for
fault.
The current political.
Well,
state
let's
of
not
affairs.
forget Tim Pawlenty and Norm Coleman either.
Right,
You got
like
them
I
collected, too.
didn't vote for Tim, but I would have. I really thought he was going to be the VP choice from John McCain. And
That's what I
like
thought.
John McCain
Yeah.
a lot. I didn't think Obama was ready, and I was ready to vote for McCain until it's like, who is this Caribou Barbie? You picked her. What's wrong with you?
Caribou Barbie.
Sorry,
but no. I mean,
here we are not talking about
But
politics.
no, this is the way I want to
They're
talk
old
about
politics, though, right?
Yeah.
This is the way I want to talk about politics because I don't like either side. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I've been both. I don't hate anybody, but I'm not wild about any of these people.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I was just talking to these guys this morning. I got a call from Trump a few weeks ago, and he wanted to come on and do an interview, and it turned out it was all about money.
It
It's like-
wasn't his agent, John Barron.
Yeah, no.
Remember when he did that to Sandy?
Oh yes, I do remember that.
That was
John
like
Barron.
35 years ago.
He made up a name. It was him. It was the owner of the Generals.
Yeah,
the
right.
New Jersey Generals. That's right. What was that? The USFL? The
Yeah,
VFL?
I think it
What
was
the
the
hell was it?
USFL. Yep.
God, Sansevier. Honest to God, it's wonderful.
And Sandy busted him. You're Donald Trump. I am not. And oddly enough, his youngest son is named Barron.
That's right, Barron. So here's the deal. I do not hate Donald Trump, but I do not hate Kamala Harris. I just don't want to support any side in this deal. I'm of that age now where it's none of my business anyway. You know?
Well, Chris Egert made a point, and here I am showing off that I'm listening to your show.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
big news right now that we get it. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. Is what's going on between Israel and Hamas. And
Oh
Hezbollah.
my
That's-
God! Another guy was killed
And
yesterday.
they start taking out people in different countries.
Yep.
And
It ain't pretty. There's no doubt. I still do not understand to this moment why the United States, the universities, United States of America, have taken Jews to task. I just don't understand how you can take a side in that battle.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's horrible on both sides. I have a
Terrible.
lot of Israeli friends because of my time working with them and over there, and I talk to them pretty regularly. And you know, it's really easy. I think Americans are guilty of this as we look at a country of people and we just say, "Well, the Israelis think." It's like they're as divided as we are. You know, they're
No
not
question.
all. You know, they not all in favor of it is a brutal thing that's happening in Gaza. There's a lot of innocent people that are getting killed, and there's not and not everybody signed up for that. But it's also different than America because the skinniest part of their country is 13 miles wide.
I know, God.
And they have, I worked with people that helped build the Iron Dome, this missile defense thing.
Oh,
And
yeah, right.
It goes off all the time, and they just think that's life. And when I was having dinner with a couple people and at an outside cafe in Tel Aviv, see, that's a pretty fancy story.
Oh,
right
yeah, there you go.
Better than I was having a burger in Orono.
Well,
And I was talking to this guy at the next table. I says, "Hey, when the alarms go off, how much time do you guys have before the missiles hit?" And he goes, 30, 35 seconds. It's like, holy shit.
Okay.
Don't even
So-
play the alarms
Yeah.
at that point.
Everything's
So
fine.
it's-
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. It's just they've been going at each other for 5,000 years. The problem is that they have the tools to really change the world in a bad way.
Isn't that so amazing? Because that whole thing was based on faith in something different.
Yeah.
But the whole, why can't we just have, they had to name it God, which is just a shortened version of the word good, and evil, the devil. I mean, couldn't you come up with better names than that anyway?
Every language has a different name for
No,
it.
I suppose they do, but believe what you believe. You don't have to try to push it off on other people or demand that they believe what you believe. You've had a different life than me. You don't have to believe what I believe. I don't care.
See, I've had her in here a couple of times. I have a really good friend who's an Episcopalian priest, Dana.
Oh, she's wonderful.
She's a
yeah.
great woman.
Yep.
And we were talking one day, and I was kind of being smug, but I was also being serious. Is Dana, I want to run something by you. Is it possible with all these different religions in the world, Buddhists, Muslims, Catholics, Jews, blah, 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 that it's pretty much just like cell phone coverage? They're all just talking to the same person. And she goes, I think you're probably right.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'm T-Mobile. Verizon sucks. No, Verizon's awesome. T-Mobile sucks.
I will. I'll tell you something. This all I ever do is deliver for our audience. We had a bunch. We're moving and all that, or in the process of it. So we had a bunch of electronics that I brought to Best Buy because they take them on there, and whatever the situation is. I won't tell you which location it is. You're gonna have to find out for yourself. But you mentioned the word Muslim, and she popped into my head immediately. There's a young Muslim woman working at the Best Buy that I went to, stunningly beautiful. Holy Christ, is this woman good?
For a foreigner?
Yes, for a foreigner. That's exactly right. For a foreigner, she's really good. No, and she's just this sweet person, very nice, very helpful. But my God, I do love stunningly beautiful women. I got to be honest with you. What about you guys?
God, that's so unusual for a guy.
Yeah, it really is unusual.
We're one of one.
Oh, that's the God.
You're a unicorn, Tom.
I am, no question. Oh, I suppose we better take a break here, and we got to get, Dougie talking to Kristen Burt, who, by the way, does a pretty good job herself.
She does.
Don't you think?
I do.
Oh, listen to these other two not making any comment at all.
That's because I'm monopolizing the
Is
conversation.
that what it
I'm
is?
sorry.
It wasn't the fact that they turned on her. It was the fact that you...
No, I thought the transition was going to be, speaking of stunningly beautiful women, Kristen Burt.
Well, I was going to say that, but then you could be charged with
She works at Best Buy?
Kristen Burt now. Best Buy's only. Kristen Burt is up next.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. And in the morning, I've got to be right because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather. So you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to anybankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We're just sitting around talking this morning about, this wonderful life that I've had and all the people, Patrick Warburton being on. I love that guy for years, just a good guy. Then the Kristen Burts of the world. You notice I'm not looking at her yet on the screen.
We noticed that.
The Kristen Burts of the world. I mean, how lucky am I to be working with the fantastic KB2?
It's a dream come true for you.
I'd like to borrow some money. That's why I was so nice to you. Do you have any money on you?
I think you have more money than I do.
Why don't we
He
do
has
this?
more money than all of us.
Yeah.
Now, Kristen, you would understand this 100%, no question. All the wonderful people you get to know. I hadn't talked to Patrick in about a couple of years, I guess it's been, because I was off for a while there. But I just tremendously successful, but just a great guy.
I have a question for the two of you, because you've met just boatloads of famous people. Did you ever meet anybody that you were just kind of so starstruck that you could barely talk?
Oh, I think at the beginning, yeah.
Who was it? Do you know?
I think it might have been Bob Hope. I think, if I remember correctly, it was because you're talking now about 50 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 years ago, but he was in town. He was in town to go on, WCCO with Boone and Erickson. He came into town to do that show. But I mean, Kristen, you run into so many movie stars and all the rest of it. How about you? Is there one person that was just, you were starstruck over meeting?
I don't really get starstruck. I think I get more excited to meet athletes than celebrities, because celebrities is like my job, where athletes, I'm like,
true.
oh, this, because I'm big like gymnastics, figure skating. So that's where I get really excited. I will say, when I interviewed Barbara Streisand,
Oh God, yeah.
I had a lot of adrenaline going. Like, I definitely felt the nerves. She was lovely, to be honest. And so it was not an issue, but you just go in there because you in your head, all you're thinking about is like the legacy, the legend of Barbara Streisand. And that's more intimidating maybe than the actual person.
But see, that just gave me a very, very sad feeling, because many years ago, I talked to Barbara Streisand. Did you ever talk to her about what her father did to her?
No.
She had a sister who apparently was a beautiful young woman. And her father used to call her ugly compared to her sister.
Oh my God.
Her own father did that to her. You called your own daughter homely? What is wrong with you? But it drove her to become the great success she was, from what she says, right?
And now she has a mall in her house.
Does she really?
She does. The bottom level of her Malibu compound, because it's not just a house, it's a compound,
Right.
is a mall. So it has like little sections, like there's like a candy store, and like it's true. It is true. And people who have seen it said it's amazing. So when she has dinner parties, like, she always goes down and shows people her mall downstairs.
That's wonderful. Is there a better singer in the world? I mean, at least, popular music.
I mean, I think like Whitney would rival her.
Yeah,
in voice.
true.
And they're all great. So like, just I won't even get started on like who's better, but like Whitney Houston was a great voice. Mariah Carey, when she was at her peak, was also an incredible voice. Jennifer Hudson, I think, is someone who rivals her now.
Celine
Dion, exactly.
She's
another
great
person.
singer. I'm not a big fan of her music, but she's about as good as it gets.
Stop punching
Incredible.
yourself in the chest, though. I hated it when she did that.
That was the Titanic era.
That was
It
the
my heart will go on. Renee Fleming, who's a very well-known opera singer, it would probably be someone also on that list. But to me, I think Barbara really eclipses all of the women in terms of like what she was able to do in music, Broadway, as well as movies.
But I love the fact that she actually brought it up to me all those years ago, the fact that I was driven to do what I do by my father, because he and I never got along. My two grandfathers and my father, we just never got along, and it drove me to succeed. Well, I mean, her success is a little bigger than mine, but
I want to see your mall, Tom.
Yeah, where's my mall? Right here. I like to maul someone, I'll tell you that. But no, she seriously, I don't know that people know the anguish she went through to get where she is today, because there are still people that go, God, she's so homely. It's like, what? Settle down.
I think she's so beautiful. That classic profile of her,
Yeah,
she did it on a
yeah.
couple of her album covers. And I'm like, and I will say Funny Girl is my favorite movie. So,
Funny Girl is good. Yeah, you're right. So what's new with you today, sister?
oh my goodness, between like Olympics and everything else that's going on, it is busy. Right now I'm in the middle of writing about a gymnastics feud that is going on. So that tells you where we are in the Olympics.
So
But-
who's got a feud going on?
Would you ever have a feud with Simone Biles? Because I certainly wouldn't. She's
No.
literally
Seems like a
But
losing battle.
one of her teammates from the last Olympic cycle, Michaela Skinner,
Mhm.
right around the trial, she said, besides Simone, I just don't think that this crop of athletes is very talented. They lack a work ethic.
Ooh.
And she was saying, because of, and you just hold on for this, because of Olympic safe sport. And if people don't know what safe sport is, it is a governing body to oversee all the injustices done to our athletes, whether it's like coaches, whether it is sexual assault, you name it, emotional abuse. She said safe sport really hasn't allowed coaches to go down hard on athletes anymore. Remember, Simone Biles and many of her teammates were survivors of Dr. Larry Nassar, who's no longer a doctor, so we should just call him Larry Nassar. He doesn't even deserve that title.
57321.
Yeah, he's in prison.
Yeah, exactly. So they're feuding, and so everybody unfollowed Michaela Skinner, going like, "How dare you?" The team yesterday won gold, so then of course Simone Biles clapped back with saying, Olympic champions, lazy with no work ethic, and all of them holding their gold medal and the American flag. And what I thought was really interesting was that former Olympians in the gymnastics community also started making snarky comments underneath the post. And I was like, the whole gymnastics community does not like Michaela Skinner. And I will say that this is not her first controversy. This was probably just the icing on the cake that got her exiled for good.
Now I got to ask this because I got to go back because I just heard that prick you were talking about that molested all those women over there.
Larry Nassar.
How many women was it again? It was like hundreds or something.
It was a lot.
The ones who came forward, it was about 350, somewhere in that neighborhood. They believe, brace yourself for this, the number is in the thousands. Because of course survivors may not want to come forward for their own reasons. But it looks like it is every single Olympic team from 2000 through 2016.
Oh my God.
And remember that a majority of our Olympics team, when it came to women's gymnastics, it really was girls gymnastics.
Yes.
Most of them were on the team 19 and younger in that era. This is the oldest team we have actually had in years. The women are all in their 20s, except for one gymnast who just turned 16. So she's like the little baby sister. But it used to be just a bunch of teenagers, 14, 15, 16. And Larry Nassar had access to them 24/7.
Yeah. And he was doing it in front of other girls.
He was doing it in front of the parents.
The parents too. Okay. Well.
Yeah. And it's so for anyone, and that was actually a thing too. Michaela Skinner stepped it into that because she said she was not abused during that era, and her coach was like, "Well, that's because I was in the room," and I'm like, maybe you just lucked out or something. But the thing is that many parents were in the room, and he was blocking them from viewing what was happening with his body. So, like the guilt that those parents live with too. It's
I suppose, yeah. I suppose that's true. All right, let's move on to something more positive, Joey. That just makes me, oh my God, having a daughter that I'd be still in prison.
I do not know how Larry Nassar's still alive. I'm not.
I don't either.
He's been beat up a couple of times, but he is still alive.
Got stabbed?
Yeah, he was stabbed a year ago.
Yep.
Was it a woman that stabbed him? I hope.
I don't know, but typically people that have sex crimes, especially against children, don't have a pleasant stay in any penitentiary.
Yeah, I think that is true.
And he's super whiny every time he writes to the judge too. So I didn't have sympathy beforehand. I still have no sympathy now. I'm like,
I understand.
There's just no sympathy. Sorry.
I do understand. I got to mention a couple of things to you. We're watching the 3rd season of Mayor of Kingstown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that show is well written. And what's his name? He was on Flashpoint up in Canada. He's a Canadian actor, and he co-wrote it with Taylor Sheridan. What the hell is his name? He's the bald guy. He's the bald cop on the show. I can't believe I can't remember his name. I'm distracted by people attacking young girls. God, that pisses me off.
I know. It's easy to get frustrated with
Hugh, what the hell? Somebody look it up for me.
Hugh Dillon.
Hugh Dillon. There you go. That's his name. That show is so well acted, so well written. The whole thing is just, what a great show that is. So many good shows on TV now.
Does it feel different? Because Jeremy Renner filmed this after his accident.
Yeah.
Does he feel different? Does he, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't.
He's phenomenal. He is really good on that show, because you are convinced when he gets frustrated or pissed off that he's really frustrated and really pissed off.
Well, I was wondering if his role felt deeper, because I know personally, when he has been doing some of his interviews, he's just like, my life has changed forever. You look at life
right
in a very different way after having such a crazy accident and surviving it.
And you and I have talked about this before. The writing and the acting now is it's at its peak. It's really good now. I mean, on most shows, not all shows, but most shows.
Most shows, yeah. I mean, I think now, because where we're seeing less content starting to come down the pike, hopefully the networks will really be focused on quality over that content. Because, if you go on Netflix, there's some stuff that you're like, okay, they just kind of slapped this together and filmed it.
We started watching a Netflix show and I'm not a sci-fi guy, but it's terrific. It's called The 3 Body Problem. And it's a multi-generational deal with physicists and current era and back in China during the revolution in the 60s. And it's really, really well written.
Now, what's it called?
3 Body Problem.
3 Body Problem. I gotta watch that on Netflix.
Yep.
We'll tune it in. Well, you and I have talked about Palm Royale. Kristen Wiig just killed it on that show. She's
That's a good
phenomenal.
show. I'm excited for season 2.
Yes, no question about it. Although I did like the fact they did the remote picture of the Breakers Hotel, but when they actually go into the hotel, that is not the Breakers Hotel.
Yeah, right away.
Right away.
They weren't filming there. I believe they filmed most of Palm Royale in Los Angeles too. So they used a lot of LA sites that, just have that mid-century modern feel to it.
But I just love the little battles, the separate little battles that she has with certain people. And it's a really well written. She killed it on that show. No doubt.
Yeah, she did. She's great. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing more from her. But I just think she's so talented, and I think she gets underestimated a lot.
I think you're probably right. Carol Burnett is killing it by going, she can't talk. She just makes a bunch of noise, but it's still, her facial expressions are hilarious.
But it's only Carol Burnett who could do that and get away with it and make it convincing and make us laugh. And I feel like any other actor might not have pulled it off the way Carol did.
You are correct. So sorry for raving so much about these, but I'm telling, television is the best it's ever been. I've said that before and I'll say it again. It's really good.
It is really good. And I'm just curious to see how this all plays out now that we have the budgets are tightened. Production is a lot lower in Los Angeles. And they say we're really going to start feeling it in 2025. So doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means that, we're going to see a smaller amount of content come our way instead of 20 new shows in a week.
I understand. So
it's always going to be better than when we grew up in the 50s and 60s. We had 3 channels. It was like, let's see, do we want to watch Courtship of Eddie's Father or they all suck? I mean, really
not good. You're right.
Or just watching reruns all summer. I mean, that's the thing. You can choose to watch reruns if you want to now, but you can also go and find new content.
Yeah. Love American Style.
Love American Style.
Great show.
Yeah, not a lot of great television, but you know what? The Lucy show was phenomenal.
That's right. There were some outstanding ones.
Honeymooners.
The Honeymooners was fantastic, no question about it.
I loved Get Smart when I was a little kid. I thought it was hysterically funny.
Maxwell Smart.
Here comes the cone of silence.
That's right. The cone of silence. I forgot about the cone of silence. But in any case, so anything in the pipe we should know about?
The only thing that's really big in premiering this week is tomorrow is Unstable, which is Rob Lowe's TV show with his son, John Owen. Did you see season 1 of that on Netflix, Tom?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So season 2 comes out tomorrow. It's going to be very light with TV shows until the Olympics are over. So these next 2 weeks, it's a lot of documentaries or it's a lot of reality shows dropping when it comes to new content in terms of scripted. It's not worth it. NBC right now is killing it. These Olympics are doing so much better than Tokyo. They're going to come out in the black $1.25 billion just from advertising alone. They banked big on this Olympics in terms of streaming, in terms of social media, and it is paying off for NBC because they did not make money on Tokyo.
No, that's right. That is very true, isn't it?
Do you think, how much difference do you think the time zones make?
Huge difference.
That's
what I make. It does. It's much easier when it's in Europe or in US or even in South America, like Rio was easier too. Yeah. When you have it in Asia, just because of the time zone difference, and people have to get up at 2 a.m. to go and if they want to watch it live, because I'm someone who gets up at 2 a.m. to watch events live. I don't want to wait all day because I'm going to see the results on social media. So not having to, I mean, most days for me, it's been like all of the Olympic events moving forward are about 8 or 9 a.m. That is fine. I did have to get up at 2:30 in the morning the other day, but that was unusual. So when it's in Beijing, when it's in Tokyo, not going to do as well as Paris, Los Angeles. We know that next cycle is going to be easy. It makes a huge difference.
Except if they plant another bomb, that'll be a problem.
I hope they don't plant any bomb.
That would be really, really nice.
I live near an Olympic venue, so I hope that there are no bombs.
I hope.
I don't live near an exciting Olympic venue though. I'm not living near like swimming or track and field or gymnastics. So
badminton,
archery and canoeing. And some cycling and equestrian. So,
okay.
Well, equestrian's good.
Did you say canoeing?
Yes, she did. She said canoeing.
Yeah, I probably won't see any of those, even though they're within walking distance of my house. You'll see me at like opening ceremony and gymnastics.
All right, young lady. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yes, I will be here.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen Burt, Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Yeah, the Olympics. I don't know. It's all we talked about it earlier. I just don't care. Is that a bad thing that I don't care?
No, it's entertainment. There's so many choices out there. I'm not the biggest Summer Olympics fan. I kind of like the Winter Olympics better.
No, you talk about the downhill. Well, the luge alone.
That's kind of cool.
Right,
the luge
little bobsled action.
Yeah, bobsled.
The snowboarding, the skiing, that type of stuff. I like the hockey.
No, that's true.
Curling, I can even get behind. There's strategy behind that, but like
I like how they sweep.
Yeah, right.
That is unbelievable.
But to like Kristen's point, I don't care, frankly, and I don't care about it now, but like I don't care about canoeing. Who's the best canoeer in the world?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a sport.
For the last 3 years and 8 months, but now I have to lock in and cheer because of my patriotism. No, if you're you're faster. I get it.
Well, that American team, they sure have good strokes.
They do.
Nice gotta get you on that team, Dougie.
Thank you.
Honest to God. All right, that's going to do it for the show. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. The family show's up in about 10 minutes.